deal, my people? You know it is Don Tony Teflon. I'm back at you. Another one, and this one is The Last of Us, episode 2 pregame show. I guess it's the first pregame show, but it's the second episode of The Last of Us. Thank you for everybody joining us here. We're going to be here every week talking about this show, The Last of Us, our expectations for the episode, recapping some of the last episode, and then getting it on. First, let me remove this, put this, wait, I got to resize these things. Oh, well, one second. I have to move the app around here because I'm by myself. There we go. Let's put this over to here. And we can stretch it out a little bit there. There we go. All right, that's better. So now I'm here rocking with me is you. So let's see exactly who's in the building. Rocking Sonic, your boy, is up in the house. Carl Carsnock. As I started drinking, Shep Hep is in the building, rocking with us. What up? Matt Spruce is in here. Kristen is up in the building, rocking with us. Wolf Spear is in here. There you go. Michelle Hayes is in the building. Michelle Hayes is a bet welcher. Debbie is in the building. And we got more of my Mary. There you go, girl. And Luna. Luna actually put a question on my last video we have in the pregame show tonight. I seen the question. And I was like, oh, I forgot to upload. I put one up there. So thanks, Luna, for everything. I mean, in all honesty, it's been a very rough weekend for me, considering personally and stuff, but I'm here, and I'm going to do it at Boog. What up? MMA is up in the building. MMA Killmonger is up in the building, rocking with us, too. You know what I mean? So it's been a rough week for me, but we here, and we're going to get this done, and we're going to do this right. You know what I mean? That's what it is. So, The Last of Us episode 2. I would say that episode 1 met expectations, might have exceeded expectations for a lot of people due to the fact that a lot of these shows in this genre do not succeed. In fact, most of them are garbage. When you look at shows like Halo that came out that had a great video game series, a great run, but the show was terrible. I mean, the best thing we can say is The Witcher is the closest thing that we got that actually a video game show that actually worked out. That was pretty good. And I won't say The Witcher is great. It has its flaws, but it's the best that we have right now. So, you know, so far right now, we are doing good. Yeah, we can give you a shout without a shadow of a doubt. Tanisha, up in the building. Jones in the building, rocking with us. Of course you can, no problem. We good on that. You know, look Sonic, your boy said he personally liked it. Listen, some people could have liked it, but critically acclaimed, was it good? No. You know what I mean? So if you liked it personally, I'm not trying to, say anything about your taste level at all. I'm just saying the critics and most people, the majority of people did not like it. Like I liked the Amazon series Lord of the Rings. A lot of the people didn't like the Amazon series Lord of the Rings, they didn't like it at all. I liked it. I thought it was good enough for what it had to do and everything else. So, to me, it was all right. So I'm just saying, when you come to expectations that we have for these video games, that Warcraft series was disgusting. Resident Evil, but some people liked them. Some people liked them. I thought the first one was all right with with the girl and everything else, but a lot of them were garbage. We look at Mortal Kombat. The Mortal Kombat movie was trash. Even the last one wasn't trash, not Oscar the garbage level trash. But I would say, it was Sanford and Son junk, right? It was there. It wasn't like it wasn't there or anything else like that. You know what I mean? So I would say that this Last of Us has exceeded expectations. Again, I give a lot of the credit to the network HBO. When you put stuff on HBO, it just seems to come out better quality for some reason. Whether they hold their stuff to a higher standard or not, it's debatable. But when it goes, and that's when I heard it was going to be on HBO, I was very confident that the series was going to be good. Because HBO, when they put stuff out there, It is very good, right? They always meet expectations, if not exceed expectations on the shows that they put out there. Now, will they cancel a series in one season? You goddamn right they will. HBO is known for that shit. You know what I mean? But when we look at top to bottom the series that they've come out with, whether it was True Blood, whether it was True Blood, The Sopranos, The Wire, Rome, the list goes on and on. Boardwalk Empire, you can name them. Every show that comes out of HBO is very highly produced and done very well. Oz, whether you liked it or not, they all came out there. So I would just say that when I heard that it was on HBO, I was very happy that it was on HBO. And so, I think I named everyone that you said China Moon. Like everyone you said is the ones that I named, right? So yeah, it's all high level stuff going on in there. Listen, HBO canceled Raised by Wolves. I thought Raised by Wolves was good. They canceled Westworld. They got rid of that. They axed that. Lovecraft Country was got 13 Emmy nominations and they canceled the show after season one. Was amazing. Right, so it's difficult. And that's why I think that most likely when we're dealing with The Last of Us, we're going to get 2 seasons of it. That's it. It's only going to be 2 seasons. And it's good. Second season is going to be really rough for people who haven't played the video game. I will not spoil anything. There won't be any spoilers here. But I will just say it's going to be very rough for people, season 2. And since they're going, you know what I mean? Since they're going on one game for one season, which I think they should have did half a game a season and got it on for 4 years altogether. But it seems like they said the first season is going to be the whole first game. Now, could they chop the second season into 2? Possibly they could do that. There's enough that goes on in the second season, especially early on in the second season, that you could chop that halfway through. Now, we've seen them do that with Game of Thrones, right? Game of Thrones, Dan and Dave wanted to do one season last season. It wasn't supposed to go those 2 seasons. It's supposed to be that one season. And that's why I think that when you look at Game of Thrones and ending of Game of Thrones, if you would have took the last 2 seasons and combined them to one super season, it may have played better than the way they put it out there and chopped it in half, and did half episodes here, then half episodes 3 years later. It just didn't work like that. So, it may have been better if it was all there, but they could pull the same thing if this show is that popular. Now, when we look at the ratings for this show, this is the second highest debut show of all time for HBO that has premiered. So the ratings were there. Everything is good there. So therefore, it just seems that the show has a fan base, and I only expect it to get bigger. But I just don't know how people will deal with season 2, especially early on. So let's get into episode 1. I'll ask you all, what was your favorite part about episode 1? Now, to me, when I look at episode 1, to me, my favorite part about it, in all honesty, was when his daughter passed away. I thought that the whole presentation, not that she passed away, I'm not happy she passed away. I'm not happy about this. But I'm saying the whole presentation of it, what led up to it, and the way she acted, the actress acted, the way that what truly it is, to me, it is the way that they put it. They didn't shy away from the source material. They used the exact words in the source material. Not only did they use the exact words in the source material, they used the exact camera shots from the source material. And I think that them paying respect to the game, using what has already been successful. And I think that's a problem that a lot of people who do these adaptations find themselves at. That they have the source material there, but instead of using the source material effectively, they want to go their own route and put their own spin. Now, they did that They put their own spin on it by the opening scenes, by giving us a more fleshed out story, showing us why Joel wasn't in the house because he had to go bail this dude out of jail. You don't get that in the games. You don't need that in the games. But the fact that they fleshed out, see, that's the things that they should do. That should be different. Fleshing out parts like that, like when you see Joel and his job is to burn bodies inside of the area. That is a great fleshing out. You know, you don't see that in the video game. You don't know that because it really does not matter when it comes down to the story of the video game and what job he has. But it's good to see that background. I think that is how you do it perfectly, to respect the source material and also go out there and put on a stretch to show out so it can fit the format. Now, I don't believe this any episode is going to be as long as that one. That one was definitely like an hour and a half. I don't think we're going to get a full hour and a half on this one because I think that was it and everything else. But if you have any other shots, let me know. Let's look at the chat and see what it said. It said, I also love the mirroring in the episode, i.e. showing how clever Sarah is and the showing how clever Ellie is. Busted Code. Yes, I like that also, how they showed that these girls are parallel, right? So Joel's going to see them both in the same light. Now, obviously, Joel is devastated that especially the way his daughter died and everything else. It's going to be hard for him to care about another child. But now he's confronted with another child about the same age, about the same fighting spirit as his daughter, and he's going to be challenged to grow to care about it. So I thought that was very good, that the way they did the parallels on him and everything else. You're correct on that one. We have Jess is saying, yes, I definitely got attached to the daughter before. Listen, that actress is just amazing. She really blew that role out of the water. She did an amazing job at it. You know, she should be commended. The only shame I have about it is that we don't get any more of her. And I would have loved to see a lot more of her, without a shadow of a doubt. And yes, you can call and leave a voicemail, 781-990-8509. If there are any type of super chats and you wish to send me, please send it to the Cash App, which is on the bottom of the crawl, which is $ Tony Teflon 545. Remember, YouTube takes 40% of all 40% of all super chats. So this way, YouTube doesn't, get to hit your pockets if you do it that way. But yet, you still got to pay the whole tax, which is kind of ridiculous. All right. Yeah. So if it says, if Nico Parker is Maeve's daughter, does that make her a host? Well, listen, she looks just like her mother. I mean, when you see them standing there next to each other, it's just obvious that this is who it is. You know what I mean? And just both brilliant, both brilliant actresses, actors, not actresses. Sorry about that. We do get a super chat here. Thank you so much. I will answer that in 1 second. Mary says, I loved how the post-apocalyptic world looked. The capture, the graphics in the show looked amazing. I agree. And that's why I like things being on HBO, because each HBO spares no expense. It doesn't look cheap. Now, look, I don't know what it is, because even when you look at like Amazon, Lord of the Rings, the series I liked, but some of the special effects look wonky, and they had so much money, but for some reason, to me, some of it, like when she's on the wall and she had the knife in the wall, it just didn't look crisp. The sets, I don't know what it is or why it doesn't come out the same like it does on HBO. I have no idea, but to me, it just doesn't look as crisp. So there's something wrong with it. You know what I mean? So, but I agree that all that, you know what I mean, was amazing and just looked great in there and everything. You know what I mean? For that, the artistic guitar music was great. Yeah, that's going to come into play later. All that. So I'm not going to spoil anything right there, but it's definitely going to come into play later. The artistic guitar music and everything else. Yes. Thank you, Jackie. Let me see if I can find the super chat that was there, that was posted up there. Uh, 1 second. Well, I don't know why it disappeared. Where'd it go? I cannot find it. I'm sorry. Do not see it. It's not showing, highlighting anything. Usually it would come out in a different color so I could see it. Uh, maybe it was removed. maybe that's what it is and everything. But again, yeah, if you could send it, please send it to the Cash App. And if you have a question, you can ask it on the Cash App too. And I'll keep checking it periodically to see if there was any message or anything sent to me and everything else like that. Let's see. I don't know. You correctly easy makes it easier for lazy people. I know. If you have to do it on YouTube, I will take it on YouTube. If you have to do it, please do. You know what I mean? Of course, you know what I mean. But whatever. T has Joel beatdown of the soldier. All right. So, how does Joel's beatdown of the soldier compare to Crispy's beatdown in House of the Dragon? So there are epic beatdowns in television history. All right. Joel's beatdown of the soldier was good. I would say if I was on a scale of 1 to 10, I'd probably give it a 7. Crispy Cole's beatdown was probably a 6.5 on the beatdown scale. And then you have Jon Snow's beatdown of Ramsay Snow, Ramsay Bolton, whatever you want to call him. That goes up to about an 8.5. 8.5 on a beatdown. But the number one beatdown of all time is from The Wire, Chris Parlow. When he beats down this dude's stepfather, Michael's stepfather, Chris Parlow, that is the ultimate. That's a 10 physical beatdown. That's the worst beatdown in all of television history of someone getting pounded out. There's no one who got more pounded out than that dude right there. That's the worst beatdown in television history. In my opinion. You know what I mean? That was the worst. That was the worst. Listen, Negan's baseball bat, he did it with a solid weapon the whole way. You know what I mean? So it's a different type of situation. So I wouldn't put that in the charts because that's with a weapon. If you start bringing in like hammers and axes and things like that, it's different. But we're talking about strictly fist to cuffs, beat down to the floor and stomped. No, Chris Parlow beat the hell out of that. They beat him death. He beat him right to death. That was probably the worst I've ever seen, without a doubt. So yeah, weapons, you have to do something. Jon Snow was bad with Ramsay Bolton. I mean, he beat him down too. You know what I mean? That was a pretty good beat down too. So yeah, no, that there's some. So now everyone's bringing. You want to bring in movies and everything. We're just talking TV show beat downs. Just straight TV show beat downs. We're going on right now. So but I hear you. There was some epic beatdown. I actually have a video I did a long time ago comparing, and I have it side by side of the Chris Parlow beatdown and the Jon Snow beatdown. I played them both side by side of the beatdown. I don't know. I think I called it "Who Got That Ass Whipped Worse" and everything. But I don't know, that video is somewhere on my channel. You can find it on there. I put that on there, the Chris Parlow and the Jon Snow beatdown side by side, so you could watch them go down and everything else. So that was so not married. What about Brienne beating down the Hound? So that was more of a fight. I would consider that a fight. You know what I mean? They were going back and forth. So it wasn't a true just ground and pound beat down. You know what I mean? So I would just say that was more of a fight and everything else. That's more of a duel type, a dirty duel. You know what I mean? Type situation. I would say that I look at that like that, not like this a whooping, just my knees on your shoulders and just whooping you type. And that's what that other one was. You know. So that's what I would say. That's the difference between that. That's the only way I would say it. All right, back to The Last of Us. So yeah. I thought that everything that we said, to me, this first episode I gave it an 8, 7.58, not because it couldn't have been better, but I always want to give some wiggle room so that the stuff can move up, you know what I mean? So that way there's a chance if we see something better. It wasn't perfect, you know what I mean? It could have been definitely done a little bit. A couple of things could have been done better. Now, I'm going to have to say this, and I don't mean this in any disrespect at all. So I think that the actors who have played these roles have been perfectly casted. When we look at Joel and we look at the actor playing him, Pedro Pascal, I would have to say that I 100% agree with this casting. I did from the beginning, and he is definitely killing the role so far, episode 1. I also think that his girlfriend that she is amazing in this role. This actress playing this. Number one, how you see it straight up with it all beat up and bloody, sitting there tied up in this situation, and smart enough to get herself out of this situation, right? Because it would have been easy for this dude just to kill her. Because listen, if I don't want to, he don't want to deal with this with Joel. We can just kill her right now, hide her body, and then it's all over. You know what I mean? But the fact that he was able, the fact that he was able to, she was able to talk herself out of that and everything else is what I think it is and stuff. What I think, showing her wit, I appreciate it when showing all that with Tessa's wit and everything else. I appreciate that. So everything else, Aaron, the editor, thank you for the $2 donation. I'm not going to comment on your comment because I'm not trying to do any spoilers here. So I'm not going to talk about your comment on anything. I'm not spoiling anything. There's no spoilers in this stream. There's a lot of people who have not played the video game who want to see stuff, and I want them to experience it on themselves. I know that Grace Randolph did some stream and basically spoiled the whole second season in her stream, just talking, just said blabbed out everything that's going to happen in the second season. Like, what are you doing? You know what I mean? You need to just let people experience at their own rate, and there's no reason to spoil stuff for people. And listen, obviously it's been out there. The game is out there and it's been played 1,000 times, correct. And I know, but still, that not a lot of people did watch the game or anything else like that, So it seems to be, and Elsa, so I can't wait to play the game. The game was great. The game was great. And the thing that made the game great was the level of violence, that was going on during that video game. There was never a violent game. I mean, God of War was violent, without a doubt, and that really set the bar for violent video games. But this was that was all gods and creatures and cyclopses and things he was fighting. This was like human beings that he was being brutal with in the game, and you never got that in the video game until you seen that in The Last of Us, and that's what I'm hoping for. Now we got a glimpse of that with Joel when he beat the guy down, but it has to get worse than that in order to match the video game and the level of violence that we get in this show. So that's what I'm really looking forward to. You know what I mean? The Street Fighter game was cartoony violence, right? So that doesn't count. You got guys with fireballs coming out of their hands and stuff. This is a realistic version, like in one spot, and Joel takes a dude's face and then rams it and breaks the whole toilet bowl with the guy's face. Like it was just brutal. Like everything he was doing, like really taking like a pipe and bashing someone's head right in and everything else. You know what I mean? I'm sorry, Aaron. I mean, I'll give you the $2 back. If that's what you want. I could definitely do that. That's not a problem. But you know what I mean? We're just trying not to do no spoilers, man. Let's just let everybody watch it on their own and be surprised on it, because there's a lot of stuff that's going to go down on it and everything else. But back to Tess. So Tess is perfectly casted. She just seems like a warrior woman of that time. You know what I mean? I don't, the word dirty comes up, but I don't mean that she's dirty. I mean, like, she's gritty, like she's a street chick, like, you know what I mean? Like, she's just a dirty chick. It's not dirt. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying she's dirty physically, even though she probably is a little bit living the way they live in. I mean, you seen that mattress they was sleeping on. I mean, that mattress is crazy. I mean, the mattress was crazy. And, I don't know. I guess that's, you got to work what you got to work with. you know, you got to do something. But I'm just saying that she was just so, she was cunning and she was smart and she's just a dirt dog. Like she's just a down chick. Like, you know what I mean? Like you gotta have someone like that on your side in order to make it in this world. And it seems like the perfect person for him and everything. Alrighty. Well, we have a voicemail. Let me see if I can play it this way if you can hear it. Let's give it a shot.
Hey Tony, this is Elisa from Arizona. So I had a question. I would like to know if you had heard about the bread origin theory of the fungi development. Was just wondering if you heard about that. That's like trending around on YouTube. It's not a spoiler. I never played the game. It was just like a thought of how this uh, fungus developed. So apparently there were scenes with the grandma eating the bread, and then also there were scenes where uh, Sarah, I believe her name, Joel's daughter, she was going to make the pancakes and she didn't get a chance to. And then he's on Atkins diet, Joel. So I was just wondering what's your opinion on this bread theory about the fungus being spread? Let me know your thoughts. Thanks so much.
Thank you for the voicemail. I would say that they have to do something different. In the video game, it's spread by spores, right? That's the way to do it. They took this, and it's a real life disease. It's a real life fungus that happens in real life in our world, and it's the exact same thing. And they just made this mutated so that human beings can actually be on it too, right? So I would say that sounds good. And they're not doing the spores situation, right? For whatever reason, because in the video game, you have to put on a mask all the time. And I guess they didn't want to have the actors in masks all the time, so they got rid of the spores. So now if they want to say that this is coming because of the bread, and that's the reason why we did see the lady eating a piece of bread. Yeah, I mean, they gave her a piece of that bread before she turned. I mean, she barely got down. It was dribbling off her lip and everything else. And so I think it's a good theory. I'm not sure if that's what it is, but I do think that it's a good theory. And why not do that? You know what I mean? So as you can see, they did have her eat bread, so that all fits. Maybe that's what it is. I am not sure, but it does fit, and I wouldn't be mad at it. Would I rather it have been in the spores? I would have 100% rather it been in the spores, 100%, because what the spores does is it makes it so that when Ellie doesn't get it when she's in the spores, that's how. What's she gonna have her eat some bread all the time, and then all of a sudden she doesn't turn because she ate bread, and that's how they're gonna say, "Oh, you don't got it." Are they gonna have her get bit all the time, and every time she gets bit and everything else, and she doesn't get it, that's gonna prove that she's immune to it? See, the spores was better because she would accidentally something would happen, she'd inhale it, and then she wouldn't get it or something like that. So I thought that was good, and they didn't wear the mask all the time. You know what I mean? It wasn't like it was every scene they had the mask on. It was basically when they were traveling underground and certain things like that they would have the mask on. So I would have rather done the spores, but I never heard that one. But I wouldn't be mad at it if that's the case. We have another voicemail. Let's listen.
Hey, Tony, one more quick question. And this is Elisa, by the way, in Arizona. I was just wondering, okay, because you mentioned Pedro Pascal fits Joel really well into character. I was wondering if maybe that role could have went to like a Kit Harington. Like, do you think that he fits in as a Joel? Just curious. I mean, I just wonder if Kit can like fit into like other types of roles, and maybe like those kind of like grungy kind of like dark kind of roles may fit him as well. But I was just wondering, what do you think?
Again, thank you for the voicemail. Again, you can call in and leave a voicemail. We'll take your calls. So I would say that me personally, I think the thing that limits Kit Harington is his overall size. He's very small. I mean, he's a small man. If you ever see him take a picture next to Sansa Stark and Brienne Tarth, he's tiny human being, Kit Harington. I would say, what is he, 5? If he's 5'5", I'm being generous. I mean, let me look up and see what he's actually listed as. That's not real. They got him listed at 5'8", and that's not true at all. He is not no 5'8". You know, that's when you look at Sly Stallone. Look what they got Sly Stallone. They got Sly Stallone listed at 5'10". All right. And Tom Cruise listed at 6'5'7". This just shows you that this is ridiculous. All right. Sly Stallone is not no damn 5'10". I'm 5'10", and I towered over Sly Stallone. Towered over him. Without a shadow of a doubt. Tom Cruise ain't no damn 5'7". Tom Cruise is maybe 5'6" if he's lucky. And I'm going to say the same thing for Kit Harington. Maybe he's 5'6". If he's 5'6", he's lucky. So when you have an actor that size, in order to do the brutality that this role is going to call for, isn't believable. You see, that was a problem I had with the actor who played Grey Worm. Love that actor. I think he's amazing. Amazing actor. Especially if you haven't seen him in Interview of a Vampire, go watch that show. That show is amazing. But I always thought that he wasn't physically developed enough to play the greatest warrior of the Unsullied. That he was just too skinny. And he should have bulked up a little bit. He didn't have no definition in his arms whatsoever. Nothing. And not a cut, not a rip. No, he should have had something there. He should have developed something. That's what I felt. And that's why I think, like, when you watch, Henry Cavill when he plays The Witcher, it's believable. When you look at this dude and you see the size of him, you could say, all right, this motherfucker could chop a fucking dragon's head off. Like, it looks believable. You know what I mean? So that would be my problem with Kit Harington playing this role, would truly be that he just he's too small to be believable that he can whip so much ass. You know what I mean? Now you would have to then get, because he's just not big enough. He's not bulky enough. He just doesn't look like he could whoop that much. Now, as Jon Snow with a sword in his hand, and it comes down to sword fighting, yeah, he could whip some ass with a sword and everything else. And the actor who played Ramsay Bolton was even smaller than him. So obviously he looks like he could beat his ass. But when you come up against, you should put Kit Harington against the mountain, it wouldn't look good. It wouldn't look like he could ever beat him. It's too small. But again, it's weapons. It's different. This is not dealing with a lot of weapons. This is dealing with a lot of hand-to-hand stuff. And a lot of the weapons that they do have are like shakes and metal pipes and things like that, right? So you got to be able to grab this stuff, throw that stuff, and whip some ass with that stuff. It just, to me, Kit Harington just wouldn't look. And I have to say this right now, that Bella Ramsey, that's a problem for me with her playing this role right now. That's the one problem. Especially coming into season 2, I don't know if she's physical enough to run it, what she's gonna have to run. That would be the issue. Is she a physical enough specimen to deal with what she would have to deal with in that? So that's what I would want to see. Maybe in 2 years she get older or something, or they recast her as someone a little bit bigger. I don't know. I don't know how they plan on doing it. But that part, season 2, when she has to go up who she had, I'm not going to give away anything away, but there's going to be another female that enters this story. And this female who enters this story is like a CrossFit chick. Like, have you ever seen like these big ass CrossFit chicks with these big ass, you know them CrossFit chicks with their big thick ass thighs? Those white girls do that CrossFit. And see the size of those thighs and those calves on those chicks? There's going to be a chick that's the best way I can describe it that enters, and she's gonna have to stand up. So I don't know if she's gonna be able to stand up to anything like that. You know what I mean? And that would have been it. Killmonger saying the spores would have been lit. I agree. I think they should have stuck with the spores. Me personally, I think they should have get over the mask stuff. You just bring in the mask once in a while. You don't have to bring it in for every episode. So I would have rather seen that. Seen anything else like that. We got Lord Kev says, hell yeah, melee weapons, or as you like to call it, parkour scrapping. You know what I mean? Luna says, I agree, at 19 she's probably as tall and weight as she's going to be. Even bulking up wouldn't be enough. I don't know how they're going to do it. I really don't know how they're going to pull off for season 2. We'll deal with that when that comes around. When that situation comes around and everything else. And sounds like Bella is still she's my little bear too. I love her. I love little Bella. I love little Bella. I 100% too. Without a shadow. Again, if you want to call in and leave a question, you could definitely call in. You know the number. Call in. I'll play the voicemail if you call in. No problem doing that. And let's go through. We're going to be on here for about 15 more minutes. Again, we'll give you an hour every week, an hour before the show. So that I want to give you time to go out inside your house, get your snacks and get your popcorn and set. I don't want to have to make you rush. You got a half an hour just to relax. You know what I mean? Just relax and wait for the show. That's why I try to keep it to an hour just right before to get everything going. Make sure you hit that thumbs up for your boy. Be here every week until this concludes and everything else, and then we'll keep it going. Let's get back into it's hard for me to talk about the first episode, but getting into the second episode, I think I don't want to give anything away, but from what we've seen in the preview trailers, we see her out there. They're going to run into an interesting character. There is one scene that's supposed to happen. Now, I don't know. Now, they may move things around, right? They may move things right, and it's from John Haymaker. Just in case you don't have the number, there is the number right there: 781-990-8509. When it comes down to it, there is it depends how they move stuff around, and I do think that they are doing that because I can go on IMDb and I look at certain things on IMDb. I could pull it up right now, but I don't know if I want to do that. But there's certain things you could see and the way how many episodes that people are in and stuff. So it makes me believe that they're switching certain things around. That because things happen very fast, and I think they're going to stretch it out over the 10 episodes. So I'm looking forward to one of these shots. It's one of these shots that I don't know if it's going to be in this episode. It should have been, but since I think they're switching it around. It's a really interesting thing in the game. One of the best scenes in the game, and I'm looking forward to seeing that. But I don't think we'll see that in this one. So again, make sure you can call in 781-990-850, 781-990-8509. Let's go right here. Tony, will episode 2 be as action-packed as episode 1? I do not think so. So the way I figured it, if you play the first game and you take all the cutscenes, if you look on YouTube, they're usually about 8. They run about 8 hours of cutscenes. All of episode 1 was the first hour of the cutscenes. So if you go to episode 2, if you go by that, episode 2 would be the next hour, if not less, because that first episode was an hour and a half. If not a little bit less than a second hour. And if it's that, then there should not be as much. I think that it's always going to be a lot of action in the show. And you will get to a point where there's a lot of dialogue in a couple of meetings. But right now, while they're just on the run, right now in the video game at this point, there's a lot of water. They're doing a lot of things. They're getting chased and everything else. So it's a lot of action. But I do think you're going to have a little bit more character development go on here. You're going to have a little bit more of Joel bonding with her. So with Ellie. So you can't have it every second be in action. And again, it would get boring that way. Now in the video game, it's a horror game. So you're basically, we say farming, killing people, just getting up levels and building things up constantly over and over and over and over again. So you can't do that every episode. It would just get boring if they did that. So they're going to have to try to, cut that down and make every scene seem exciting. You know what I mean? So that's what I think they have to try to do. Will this surpass? Let me get that up there. I'm sorry. The question was, will it surpass The Walking Dead? No, it will never surpass The Walking Dead in the level of sheer fandom. The Walking Dead was a phenomenon. This show is not going to be a phenomenon like The Walking Dead was. Now, I'm not saying the quality of the show is not better than The Walking Dead, but I'm saying for a fan base, it's not going to spawn 15 spinoffs like The Walking Dead did. The Walking Dead saved the network. Walking Dead, there was a network that was nothing. You know what I mean? Doing documentaries until The Walking Dead came and lit that network on fire. So it will never surpass The Walking Dead in terms of popularity like that. And again, I think it's only going to be a couple of scenes. Let me say first off, thank you for the super chat from Mod Mary. She says, we have a big hit with this show. I think it's a hit, without a doubt, but a 2-season hit. And when it's only 2 seasons, I don't know how big of a hit it can actually be if it's only 2 seasons. The Walking Dead ran for 15 years? I mean, Walking Dead it probably should have left earlier than that, but it was on for a long time. We got another voicemail. Let's take a listen.
It's your favorite anonymous calling to give you a prequel call. The show's going to start for me in less than an hour. So I'm going to give you a prequel call. And I wanted to look forward to what I'm assuming would be within the first 10 minutes of what I think is going to happen. As vague as that sounds, I don't want to be giving spoilers to your titles. So I just wanted to say hi, prequel hi, before the show.
Thank you very much for saying hi, and thank you for not putting any spoilers on there. If you did, it wouldn't have been played. But if it follows the video game, then yes, the first 10 minutes should be exciting. But overall, are we going to get as much action? I don't believe that we will in this episode as we got in episode 1. I think episode 1's job is to hook you in, right? That's what you want to do. Episode 1, the pilot, you want to establish characters. You want to establish the dilemma. You want to establish the story and then go forth with it. And I think they did a great job of doing it. They established all the characters. They gave you enough background in it, right? They gave you enough background with them so you can feel where they're coming from. They gave you the reason why they're doing what they're doing and why they have to do it. And then it sets you in motion to start caring about it. So the hero's journey is set in place. So they're doing a good job with that. So I think that when you deal with episode 2, you still want to give the people who are bloodthirsty some blood and guts, right? You're going to have to do some more creatures. And I think that every episode you'll get a different version of the infected. Now, I was going to do a video with all the versions of the infected. I actually started it, but what happened is that I have new software that I'm making videos with right now. And it's a learning curve to me because I've used the same software for over 9 years. I would say at least eight years straight. And so I'm so used to it. But this new software is better, and the videos are going to come out better, and I'll be able to upload them in 1080p and 4K and everything else. So I would already had that video out already if I would have did it the old way, but because I want it to be a good video for you. But I'll definitely get the video done this week. I promise you that. The things that I'm learning on this system, it's not like it's hard. It's the easy things. All the hard stuff I know how to do. It's like easy things like clipping this and trimming things like that. That's just not in the same space that it's supposed to be in that I'm normally used to. So that's the problems with everything else is going on right now. You know, when Wilson, where are you starting up? Where are you starting on from? So I would say From will probably be at, I think it's premieres, I forgot the period, March. So in February, it should be right when February starts. Probably, you know, the second week of February, we'll start doing From every week. We'll do a stream for From, and we'll get everything prepared and stuff like that for From. So we'll be back on the From tip on next month. I just have now I tell you, my friend, you all know my friend passed away. We talked about that, but his funeral now is set for February 2nd or 3rd. It's that Friday, first Friday in February. February 3rd is his funeral. So I probably won't be on that weekend, depending on how it goes, how I'm feeling after all that. And so From will probably start the week after that, for the 5th, the week of the February 5th. We'll start doing that. So that's how that will go. So but I'll look forward to doing that. And having interviews and everything else with doing that show and continuing to keep on videos on this show. It's hard to break through with this show. There's a lot of other YouTubers, a lot more prominent YouTubers covering this show, so it's very hard to even gain any traction in it. But either way, I'm still going to be coming on here every week, and I'll always do the pregame show. Even if I can't do the regular videos for it, I will do as much as I can, but I'm not going to like stay up all night tonight to make a review video of the episode, because it's just not going to make any sense for me to do that, because other channels like Heavy Spoilers, Grace Randolph, Emergency Awesome, they have already gotten the screeners and they have already seen the episodes and they already have their videos done. Like those videos are already done for them. So that's why when you see these people come out there with prediction videos, it's easy for them to predict it because they've already seen it. In fact, they've given out over half of the season to these people, right? So as soon as it goes live, they're going to push. It's already on their channel. They just got to make that shit public. You know what I mean? So and that's what they're going to do, and then they're going to get all the views. So I'm not going to stay up all night and then not get the views and everything else like that. You know what I mean? So I'm just going to chill, and I'll get it done when I get out of work tomorrow. That's just the way it's going to be. So I just can't compete with the algorithm and that. So I'll get a video up when I can, most likely tomorrow some point, tomorrow night. And everything else and all that good stuff. Mona C, what up to you, Mona? Yo, get Vimo. I don't have Cash App. Why don't you get a Cash App? Why I gotta switch up for? I do have Venmo, actually. I never used it, but I do have it. I mean, I used to send my mother money on Venmo, so I know I have it. But I've never used it at all. I don't even know what it would be. I don't even know what my name is on this thing at all. I see my picture on there, but I mean, I don't know. Venmo's a PayPal service, so I don't understand. PayPal bought Venmo. I have no idea. I have it, but I don't know. I don't know. PayPal owns Venmo. PayPal is just a beast. But if you do, personal checks, yeah, sure. Yeah, the Cash App is just the easiest way to do it. It takes 2 seconds to set that up. It's 2 seconds, and it's easy and everything. All right, 5 minutes. Anyone got any questions? 5 minutes? Let me know. Mona C is saying, Tone, just post all your things, PayPal, them on the Cash App. Damn it. Maybe I should get the Cash App. But PayPal is, you know, yeah, if you want to get the Cash App, just get the Cash App. That would be better just to do that. And just see the Cash App, it's on there, right? Tony $$Tony Teflon 545. They have people who have sent me Cash Apps when the stream went off and stuff and set it up. So, you know, if you want to do that, and we'll shout you out on the next one, we definitely would do that. Anything that wants to be asked before we wrap this up and everything else. And it's good seeing you, Mona. I know that I haven't seen you in a while. I know you just left me. Just left me and stuff, but it's all right. I'm glad you're back and everything. And hopefully you're watching The Last of Us and everything else. You know what I mean? You know that Debbie's like, see you next time. Debbie, don't leave us so soon, Debbie. Don't leave us, Debbie. We're still here. We got a couple more minutes left. We got a couple more minutes left. Tony, you should get an OnlyFans. I don't know about that. We had the After Dark streams, and that's kind of OnlyFanish and everything else. Are the Fireflies nationwide? Yes, the Fireflies are not just in that one area. They are in different parts in different countries too. You will see more of the Fireflies and more of their people and stuff. There will be more. It's not just that one section of Fireflies. There's more of them and everything. What happened to the boy that didn't make it to the safety area? Did they kill him? What happened to the boy that didn't make it to the safety area? I don't know what boy this is. I'm trying to think of. I'm trying to think of. It's a Mona. It's like, oh, I broke up with my boyfriend, so now I'm single. All that stuff. But yeah, as a lot of Luna said, yes, they euthanized him. That was what happened to that boy. That boy got euthanized. That was the end of him. I figured you broke up with him and everything else. And I'll sign up for OnlyFans. As Bridge 4 and Phil are included in the pictures. I want all 3 usual suspects. Well, I know me and Phil would do it. Bridge is kind of squirrely. Well, but Bridge will be back. We'll get Bridge back on the stream. Well, I promise you that. But he's Bridge goes through some stuff like I do and everyone else does in life. And you got to give him a chance to work through what he has to work through. But he'll definitely be back. Was it the right decision as a character for Joel not letting Tommy pick up the family of 3 on the side of the road and go back and forth? That was completely out of the video game. That was the exact same thing on the video game, and I think that they were trying to show you Joel's mentality of his. I don't give a fuck. Just go. I don't care about no one but us. And that's it. Just go. Actually, was it the right decision to make? I guess morally, probably not. But in that situation where you don't know what the hell, they don't know what's going on. They don't know how it's going, what's under attack and why it's under. They have no idea what's going on. All you see is the military jumping in and everything else. I would have been out too. If I had, especially when you have a young kid, you got to think of the safety of your kid above anything else. And you know that the people in this truck right here are safe. I don't know what they got when you get them in this back of this pickup. You don't know anything that's going on there. So I would have had to let them sit out there too because I couldn't trust it. And that would have just been it. I would have let that. I would have made the same call and everything else. But yeah, so I agree with it. All right, we're gonna get up out of here. Thank you all for joining me. I hope I see you next week. But before that, after episode 2 airs on Tuesday night, I'll be back doing the episode 2 live stream review. All right, so I'll do a live stream review of episode 2. I'll do that on Tuesday. Tonight, when the series is over, go to Phil the Issues Guys channel. He'll be there with Joe Dirty Locks, and they'll be doing their reaction and recap right after it's over. So make sure you go to Phil the Issues Guys channel. Tuesday, I'll be back doing that, and I will do my best to have that video up for you this week. Again, it's just a learning curve for this new software, and as soon as I get it, all the videos will be so much better. You'll see we have to try to step the game up. If we're trying to level up, then we got to level up too, right? Can't just keep doing the same old and everything else. So that's what it is. So make sure, if you haven't subbed before, please subscribe, like the video. And if you like the way I do this, please, again, subscribe. And until next time, you know who it is. Peace